Afternoon. Man cave again. Still a bit, it's a nice sunny day, but it's a bit wintry. Roads aren't fit to ride on, so just a quick introduction to this short video. I keep saying a short video, but one day there will be a really short video. But this one is a couple of weeks ago. My son Nick, he fancied a trip across to the Superbike Factory at Macclesfield. I know there's one or two Superbike factories up and down the country now, but the first one was at Macclesfield. That's where it all kicked off for him. And he goes across there now and again, and I thought I'd take a ride across there with him. It's a nice ride across there through Macclesfield Forest, Bucklow, over to Macclesfield, except that on the day we went across it was a bit misty, a bit low cloud, but yeah, it was a nice ride all the same. And we had a quick look around the massive stocks in the Superbike Factory. So that's all this is, just a ride across the Superbike Factory, pointing out one or two things along the way, one or two things being mentioned along the way, but yeah, as usual, thumbs up if you could, subscribe, comment, let me know what you think. Alright, I'm still thanking you people for 1,000 subscribers, entirely down to yourselves. Marvellous anyway. Cheers.
Well, good morning, people. Just a short run out on Blizzard. On my way across to meet up with Nick, my son, on his Transalp, to go and do a little bit of window shopping. It's it's a typical November day up here in the Staffordshire moorlands, up over the top. We're over 1,000 feet above sea level just up here, so the low cloud, it does come down to meet us quite often. Thank God, well, we take the cattle grid that shouldn't be here. Cattle grid shouldn't be there because there's no need for it. Never has been. But it was shortly after I retired from what I call the old job. The National Park Authority collaborated with Staffordshire County Council and had two totally unnecessary cattle grids installed. One we just crossed, and the way they've installed them, they've created basically a speed bump, a sleeping policeman. And the way they were installed was ludicrous. When I was still in the job, I sat on various different committees, road safety in particular, and I like to think that my opinion was heeded. In actual fact, we get these low clouds and thick mists all the time across here. Not all the time, but you know what I mean. Across here. And when I started up here, when I moved up here, when I started working up here, no white lines whatsoever, no road markings across here in the thick cloud, and I campaigned for just the white lines down the edge of the road to begin with, and eventually the highway superintendent relented. He said, I can't guarantee you getting a centre line because the road isn't wide enough to guarantee an automatic centre line yet. Apparently the road back then, the road had to be 19 feet wide to warrant an automatic centre line, and it isn't in quite a lot of places. He said, but I'll do what I can for you. Within a few months I got We've got white lines down the side of the road and a centre line. And that was just through perseverance and pushing the road safety side of things. Anyway, I've blown my own trumpet for long enough, I think. It's not ever so nice up here, so I'm going to switch off and I'll switch back on again when I meet Nick. Hopefully out of the low cloud. Who knows? The former Mermaid Inn. Such a shame that that's gone. It's gone the way of one or two places now. You can hire it as a group hire, and I'm fairly sure they've still got the bar, so that if you want to with your friends you can actually run it as your own little pub. Anyway, see you later. And we're back. This is where my son's moved to, out towards Macclesfield. This is Bossley Reservoir.
Yeah, Macclesfield.
Really nice spot. Well, considering how often Nick has changed his bikes over the last year or so, he seems to have found a bike he's happy with the Transalp. It's nowhere near new, of course. It's an 07 plate, 650. He had a little bit of an issue with it a few weeks back. I mean, I had a ride on it when he first had it. I was impressed, to be honest, but then after riding a Himalayan, which are not exactly powerful, yeah, it's easy to be impressed, I suppose. But he had a bit of an issue with it. It was an oil leak from one of the cylinder head, the re-twin engine, an oil leak from one of the cylinder head on the rocker covers. And it meant, I think it actually meant dropping the front engine mount in a couple of inches so he could get out, and he didn't want to get involved with that, so he sent it into Dan Pritchard in Leek. Is now the local bike workshop effectively. Anyway, he'd had it a day or so, and he phoned Nick up. He said, are you on a restricted licence, Nick? Well, he isn't. And he said, no, not at all. He said, only this engine's got restrictor plates in the carburetors to get the to get, I think it gets you down to 33 brake horsepower or something. Anyway, and he said, do you want me to take them out then, these restrictor plates? And he said, do you really need to ask? And he said, well, I have to ask, really. So yeah, he's had to he's had a new lease of life since he's had the restrictor plates taken out. It's it really is impressive. But he's had a brand new pair of Kenda big blocks fitted, and yeah, it's got slightly different handling characteristics, which is he's taken a while to get used to. Four Ways. This used to be a very popular cafe, restaurant. Back in the day, we're talking what, 20, 30 years ago now. Four Ways Diner it was called. It is no more. Well, Nick was obviously fed up with the good visibility down below, so he's come up in search of mist and low cloud. Although you can feel and you can actually see the sun trying to burn through, you can almost see the blue sky directly above us. It's frustrating when it's like that because just want it to clear. Alright, so we were dropping down out of the mist and he's obviously missing it, so we've had to come back up into it again. Got a warm sense of humour, that's my son. Well, both of them have, to be honest. Don't know where they get it from, I'm sure. This little lane effectively brings us over to Macclesfield Forest, which is a lovely area, it really is. Just looking around, there's one or two lanes that I've not explored myself across here, so wintertime is very much a time for exploring areas closer to home, so we'll see what we can do. It's really nice to see the autumn colours and that the winds haven't blown them all off the trees yet. A lot of them are gone, but it's nice to ride through them all the same. I know I've said it before, but in so many ways early autumn is probably one of the most colourful, if not the most colourful season of the year. That was the Crag Inn. Looks as if it's closed down. Good Lord, that was a good pub. Of course, the downside of the autumn colours is as we get further into autumn and more leaves are blown off the trees, they gather in the road and create a very, very slippery surface. Lots of people out walking today. Don't blame them, there's no rain forecast. This valley is Wild Boar Clough. It's the stream down to our left. This is a little tributary. The little dipper. There was a dipper on Southern Rock just down there. Then I missed it. Yes, a tributary into the River Dane. The Dane is the river that forms the physical boundary between Staffordshire and Cheshire. because we are of course in the wilds of Cheshire here. Where are we going to go at the next junction? I've got a feeling he's going to turn left. Oh no, maybe not. Out of the Stanley Arms. This is the main road. Well, it isn't the main road actually, it's a sort of an oxbow off the main road between Buxton and Macclesfield. The main road that passes the Cat and Fiddle. And this it's a bit of a shortcut really. It's a nicer road because it's not as busy. We've got Macclesfield, the town of Macclesfield laid out in front of us. Quite a big town. I'm not sure what the population is. No, I haven't a clue what the population is. So, sometimes known as Silk Town because it was central to the textile industry, in particular the making of silk. Historically. That's the Macclesfield Canal we're just crossing. Bollington up on the right. And on the corner here on the right, high class furniture suppliers, vendors shall we say. since 1854. Origi Bianchi, or as Mrs. Moorland Biker refers to him as, Archie Bargy. No, we're not going window shopping at Tesco. Now we have the Superbike Factory. This was the original Superbike Factory. They've got premises, quite a few premises around the country now, but this one at Mac was the original. It's a while since I've been here, but I understand that now a bit of a food outlet, so you never know. We might just get a bacon butty. Who knows? We'll see. I must clarify, for blizzard's sake, we're only window shopping. Not very busy. There we go. Let's go and see what they got, shall we? Bikes as far as the eye can see. The Superbike Factory. There's one bike that's really intrigues me just here at the minute. The Mutt Stravag 401. Know nothing about them, but they look purposeful. Well, that's a 125. And that's the 401. Looks a useful bike. Time will tell, time will tell. All sorts, absolutely all sorts. And as well as bikes, there's a wealth of helmets and gear of all sorts. You can spend an absolute fortune, and quite a few other people's fortunes as well, here at Macclesfield, the Superbike Factory. Drop. So that was a Superbike Factory. I'm not saying it's the best place to go by any means. I've read all sorts of different reviews on the place, like customer service and all that sort of thing, but it's local to us, and it's good to come and have a look around occasionally, see how the other half live, I suppose, really, and dream about your next bike. There won't be a next bike, Blizzard, don't worry. Okay. Nice to get out with Nick and do a few miles with him as well. So we'll call it a day at that before I head back into the mist and the low cloud on the way home.